It's time to dismantle, incinerate, take down this take from Pro Football Focus when it comes to this man, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. That is coming up next here on Chicago Bears Now. But listen, the reason you subscribe to the channel is I'm going to give you my opinion on this team every single day. Some days you may like it, some days you may not. If you liked every single take I had, I probably wouldn't be bold enough. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. We're bringing the heat here on Chicago Bears Now for free every single day. Now let's talk some ball. All right, on today's show, Pro Football Focus gave a ceiling and a floor for all of the second-year quarterbacks, including Caleb Williams, and all 6 first-rounders. Like, they didn't do Spencer Rattler, but they did, Caleb, Jaden, Drake, Penix, McCarthy, and Bo Nix. Discuss their ceiling, their floor, et cetera. We're obviously going to focus on Caleb, but toward the end, we'll take a look at all their ceiling, floor comps, and there's some wild ones in there, I'll tell you that. Our good friend, I've actually never met him, John Kosko of PFF, had this to say about our QB1, Caleb Williams. Williams entered the NFL with a tremendous amount of hype, only to disappoint as a rookie, especially when compared to the rest of the class. Williams' season was, at best, underwhelming. He flashed big play potential, incredible arm talent, but he struggled with accuracy and took on pressure and sacks too often. There's some truth in there, no doubt. Granted, top prospects who don't put it all together as rookies are still capable of turning things around. Jared Goff's one notable example, and Bryce Young appears to have turned a corner ahead of 2025. But struggling as badly as Williams did usually does not end well. Still, he has the talent and one of the best supporting casts in the NFL to turn it around to 2025. They also gave Caleb Williams a ceiling and a floor. The ceiling, Jordan Love. The floor, bust. And by the way, somehow he is the only quarterback among the 6 first-round picks from last year who gets a floor of bust. That includes J.J. McCarthy, who has yet to play. So that's interesting. I've got a lot of issues with a lot of this. Again, I said it in there. There's some truth in there. Yeah, he took too many sacks, even with the bad offensive line. The accuracy was hit and miss. No doubt about it. But I got to be honest, I'm sick and tired of acting like Caleb Williams had a garbage rookie season. It was an average to above average rookie season. Historically, it was probably way above average. Now, rookies come in and play a little better in modern day because the offenses tend to be a little bit easier than they were in the 1990s. But still, even if you added up every rookie quarterback ever, including number 1 overall picks, like at worst, I would say Caleb was average. Like it wasn't some historically bad season. So let's react to this and kind of just pick this apart a little bit because I hate to do it, but somebody's got to. Where is the mention of the coaching, right? And look, the great ones transcend certain coaching, no question, but even look at like Justin Herbert with the Chargers. Like we all agree, even the biggest Herbert doubters have him as a bona fide top 10 guy. He's lost a lot of games, and he's played bad in some big moments. And everybody's like, well, the coaching's been horrible. And I agree. He's had horrible coaching until he got Jim Harbaugh. Caleb Williams, though, you could argue, had the worst coaching situation we have ever seen. One of the worst. Matt Eberflus, who is a poor communicator, a defensive coordinator at best, and one of the most conservative mindsets of just don't turn the ball over. They did this with Justin Fields, who had issues of his own, and over time, it's been proven that he's probably not good enough to be a franchise guy, but the Bears didn't coach him well either. And then the Shane Waldron thing, not only was his coaching bad, but the Bears, to hire him, they were like, oh, this guy blew us away. Then you hear him at the podium, you're like, that guy blew you away? Really? He kind of sounds like someone who has no communication skills. The coaching was an embarrassment. Every Bears fan that watched this close, even if you're not sold on Caleb, and I'm not saying any of us should be sold on him, we can all agree that the coaching was a joke in 2024. So that's number 1. Number 2, the Goff and Bryce Young mention, and I'm not even Jared Goff's become a very good player. Bryce Young, there's this contingency that he's figured it out all of a sudden, and it's like, hang on, guys. Just because he's now played acceptable level, average level, after being maybe the worst rookie we've ever seen, like, I don't even get those comps. Look at their rookie numbers, and then we'll show Caleb's. Look at them. Jared Goff started 7 games, couldn't complete 55%. Didn't have 1,100 yards in 7 games. That's quick math. That's what, like 135, 140 yards per game? It's not like he's dual threat and he's running around getting yards that way. He's a statue. 5 touchdowns, 7 picks, QB rating of 63. Doesn't run the ball, obviously. Bryce Young, sub 60. 1-to-1 TD interception ratio. Less than 2,900 yards, started 16 to 17 games. QB rating, 73. Ran around a little bit, but not a ton. And then came out to start last year and was so bad that Dave Canales had to bench him. And to his credit, played pretty well and now has earned a 3rd year. But this guy, John Kosko, says, well, you've seen Goff and Young salvage things. First of all, let's see on Bryce Young. Second of all, Caleb Williams' rookie season was far better than Jared Goff or Bryce Young. Now, does that mean he's going to be better than Jared Goff? No, but those reference points don't even make sense. Completion percentage, much higher. Yards, much higher. Touchdowns, quadruple Jared Goff and double Bryce Young. I get Goff played less games, but still had less interceptions than Goff and played 10 more games. QB rating, 25 points higher than Goff, 14 points higher than Bryce Young. And I'm acknowledging fully that Caleb had a lot of ups and downs. I'm not even sitting here acting like he lit it up. Jaden Daniels was much better. But to sit there and say, well, careers are mostly lost after a season like this, but there are exceptions like Bryce Young and Jared Goff. Hang on a second. He was far better, not slightly better, far better than Jared Goff and Bryce Young as a rookie. So if you're going to make some analogy of like, well, he struggled in this area, but you see a guy like insert quarterback who figured it out, and you pick 2 guys who in no area were anywhere close to what Caleb was as a rookie. It makes no sense whatsoever on that front of things. Support QB1. Get his jersey. Chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. They're only $100. Limited time only. Get Nike authentic Caleb Williams jerseys today. Chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. And then lastly, Jordan Love is maybe horrible strong. It's a pretty bad comp. Are there overlaps in their games? Yes. But Jordan Love is a pocket passer who can move. Caleb Williams is someone who can play within the pocket, but that's still an area of growth. I would flat out say Love is better in the pocket right now, but Caleb Williams is one of the truly elite improvisers. Even as a rookie, what's one thing it's okay, he's pretty damn good at that. He's pretty good at improvising, escapability, making plays on the move. Can Jordan Love throw on the move? Absolutely. He doesn't really want to do that, though. Caleb's better than that than he is in the pocket. So I don't think their games are that similar. Now, they both have elite arms. It's not like there isn't an overlap on the pie chart. I'm not saying that. It's not like he compared Caleb to Jared Goff, but play style is number 1, not that similar. And number 2, Jordan Love has started 2 seasons in the NFL. He was excellent in the second half of 2023. The raw numbers from that season feel awesome. You really break it down, it was the second half of that season that lofted things. He had 18 touchdowns to 1 pick the final 8 games. Otherwise, it was 14 to 10. Really good year that year. Last year, though, it banged up the knee in week 1, missed a game and a half, whatever, was a little nicked up a couple other times. He had a good season, not great. So are you saying that Jordan Love, who's been pretty good through 2 years as a starter, only 2 years as a starter, by the way, we forget that's the best Caleb can get? There's no possible scenario where he can be better. That's it? And don't get me wrong, if he plays like peak Jordan Love, that's still a good result, especially given the Bears' QB history. But I'm not going to sit here one season in and say his best case scenario is Jordan Love, who's been more good than bad, but certainly up and down through 2 seasons as a starter. More consistent than Caleb's 1 season, no doubt, but that's the best possible case scenario. When Jordan Love has had Matt LaFleur, when Jordan Love got to sit 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers, and when Caleb Williams in his 1 season had Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron. I'm not going to concede that. That is absolutely crazy. It just makes no sense whatsoever. In fact, I would still bet, because I think his talent was that much better coming out of college and he's played 1 year and Jordan Love's played 2, I would still bet that Caleb has a better career moving forward. I might be wrong. He could be bad. There's no question. Like, I'm not acting like there's a world where this doesn't work out. Given the Bears' history, given that last year was inconsistent, that certainly could be on the table. But I am not going to concede that his best case scenario is current Jordan Love. Like that is just not, that is not something that is even in the thought. Like I'd put that more like best case scenario, worst case scenario. Middle scenario is like inconsistent Jordan Love. Like, okay, I could buy that. Best case scenario though, like wow, like we're already punting on Caleb Williams, I guess. All right, CW for Caleb, JL for Jordan, better career. Time will tell. It could go either way, no question, but man, best case scenario, tough crowd over there at PFF. And then CHSN kind of made a graphic out of the PFF second-year comps. I mean, it's kind of some ridiculous ones here, right? We've broken down the Caleb one. And by the way, what do you notice about all 5 other ones that is not attached like it is to Caleb? No one else. There's no possible scenario the other 5 guys could bust. J.J. McCarthy never taking a snap. No chance he could bust. In fact, his floor is Sam Darnold. Are we talking horrible Sam Darnold or last year? Because if his floor is last year's Sam Darnold, put him in the Hall of Fame. Because if he plays at that level for 15 years, that's a Hall of Famer. Sam Darnold had 35 touchdowns and 12 picks. You do that for 12 years, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Like, he was with top 5 QB in the NFL last year. Like, that's almost not even fair for JJ. If you're talking about last year version of Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, he'd be the one guy where you probably wouldn't say worst case is bust. It'd probably be worst case is like, you know, I don't know, like trying to think of an underwhelming dual threat, but still had a decent career. Like, is worst case like much better Justin Fields or something like that? Sure. Jaden's pretty good, but it's also 1 year in. Drake May in half a season, there's no chance he can bust. Also, his best scenario is Trevor Lawrence. You want to talk about disrespectful? I would take him over Trevor right now, I think. Like, I ranked him higher than Trevor on my QB rankings on 4 verts. Oh, Bo Nix, let's just give him Drew Brees because he has Sean Payton, because that makes sense. Also, the Mac Jones comp makes no sense. Much stronger arm, much more fluid athlete. Their games aren't similar at all. Penix is probably the one I like the most. I mean, I could see him having a Jameis type of career where he's just kind of this gunslinger, more of a backup than a starter. Like, that could be the bad scenario. And then, I don't love the Herbert one. Like, to me, ceiling Herbert should be like Drake May. We heard that comp a lot coming out. Similar build, similar arm strength, similar, he's willing to throw into the tight windows. Penix does some of that. So if I had to pick one that I like the most, I guess I would say the Atlanta one. But we were just all over the map. And again, only Caleb could be the guy that busts. If last year is the worst Caleb ever is, I guess that's a bust from a number 1 pick scenario, but that's probably a guy who starts in the league for a while, even if it's not with the Bears. So I got to be honest. I just think this is really bad work. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's got me fired up, man. And I'm excited to see what Caleb can do. I think last year is probably as bad as it's going to be, and that was still like serviceable NFL QB play. So, man. Just had a loss of words, if I'm being honest. All right, we're going to sign off here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode of Chicago Bears Now. I'm not always right. I'm wrong all the time. But, man, I thought that was a little disrespectful. Hit that subscribe button. We got you covered on all things Bears. Giving you my opinions. Whether they're right or wrong, I'll keep firing these takes.